Hello everyone and welcome to another Spark series by Opto Research Consultancy Services, which is a podcast focused getting insights and experiences from experts in the field of eye and vision care. Today we have Dr. Pavan Kumar, who is a scientist from the Myopia Research Center, LVPEI Eye Institute, Hyderabad. Thank you very much for joining us, Dr. Pavan. So, let me start with the first question. So, what exactly inspired your research career, and can you share some rewarding aspects which you have experienced so far from your research career?
If you ask me what has inspired me, I think to do something new every day has motivated me to pick the research as an element for me. I felt, okay, in research, you can do something new every day. You're running different projects. You come to the office, there is always new document to read, new projects to run. So I think that sort of motivated me to pick the research. What is rewarding? I think when our findings goes to the clinics or when our findings gets applied elsewhere in the world, I think that's the best reward that you can get.
Yeah, that's wonderful because I remember some of my research findings are used in some clinics, so which is specific to low vision. So since I can connect with you what you are sharing. So coming to the next question. Yeah, please continue, sir. You want to share something? Yeah, please.
Saying that the findings from research not just goes to a specific patient, but you're talking about your state, your nation, and in fact impacting the globe or the global scenario. So I think that sort of what gives a big satisfaction in life, if there is anything.
So, can you share a challenging project and what are the skill sets you have developed or qualities you have developed to overcome those obstacles from the challenging project, which can aspire the researchers?
I think everything in research is challenging to start with, because you have chosen a project that nobody has done in the world until today, and that's what you're starting. So of course you don't know what's the road ahead is. It could be filled with a lot of obstacles. You don't know. You're not saying it's all foggy. Uh, but that's the interesting part of research, right? And you're saying I don't know anything, but I'm going into that to explore what I'm going to see for the first time that nobody has seen. So I think every project is challenging by itself. I can take few examples, but that challenge is very important. We run a couple of experiments in relation to light. For example, say blue light for myopia control. And there is evidence from animal models, but we want to apply it in humans. You don't know if this is safe to use, how the child will react, how the adults will react, will there be changes? But I think that attempt of taking risk and then you fail, that's okay. But at least you gave a try. I think that's what motivates, or that's what the challenge, overcoming the challenges is precious. If you ask me what sort of things that I've learned to overcome these challenges, maybe we should be much more patient, much more resilient, much more stronger to face rejections. You do 100 things very new in the field. The biggest challenge that you will face is from your peer group, or maybe when you send it for reviews. You get a lot of rejections because it's something new. It's important for us to convince the others in the field to say, hey, what I've done is genuine and this is something new and I believe in it. So the self-belief that, hey, what I've done is genuinely right. I do not see any flaws in my methodology. So if you have a strategic plan before you start your experiment, that will keep you on a stronger side to face or to overcome the challenges. So I think the stronger methodology, self-belief, you believe in your work. I think that sort of thing that I've learned. A lot of papers get rejected 5 times, 6 times. But if I believe in my work, I'm not saying, okay, I will be silent. I know I've done something wrong. If I've done something wrong, I might as well not come to the foreground and say, this is my paper on the first go. So we should be stronger to face these challenges. And you will be stronger when you have your strong methodology in place.
So yeah, that's I totally agree with that of being patient and accept the rejection and move on with and resubmit to a better journal. So I understand the whole process. So how do you really approach collaborations with researchers and build successful partnership? I believe you have collaborated with multiple institutions across the globe for your PhD and for the current research work. Like I see so many of your students and scholars from your center flying abroad for their postgraduate or PhD studies. So how do you really approach collaborations and building relationships?
Collaborations are definitely important. They are going to play a bigger role in creating impactful project. I know I've been using this word impact. I think that's precious to use. The quote stands high. The quote is, alone I can do only little, but together we can do a lot. On that front, we should understand what expertise we have. I know my limitations. I know where I stand strong, where I am very weak. Uh, I do biometry, I do refraction, I do structure, I do the peripheral optics. That's my, maybe I have little knowledge in that. But there are uh, vast region where I'm not aware of. I don't know a tiny bit of that as well. But you want to collaborate with somebody who is expert in this field so that you fill that gap and proceed forward. So I think having collaborations, number one, is important. Number two, having right collaborations, right people at right time will lead to fruitful outcomes. There's no point for me to collaborate with somebody who is also doing something similar to what I'm doing. But instead, if I can work with somebody who is not doing this work but has expertise on part B, I know part A, when both of us come together, I think it's going to have a bigger impact. And the other party will also be equally interested. So I think that sort of combination is what we should look at, and that will keep us going for longer or building major partnerships.
With the continuing with that, so how do you think ethics is important in any research? So how do you face the ethical considerations, especially in your myopia research, it can be in general, like how ethics is important in research?
Ethics is no doubt. I mean, there's no point in questioning that. Is it really important? Uh, there are a lot of curiosity questions. I mean, I come from myopia research background, so one of the experiments I really want to do is what Professor Earl Smith has conducted on ablating the fovea of monkeys. He burned the foveas of monkeys and then proposed that a peripheral retina is important. I'm trying to, I mean, well, I'm not trying. Let me be very clear. I'm really excited. There's a lot of curiosity question there. I want to ask this question, but I cannot do this. Okay, we're still here. Yeah. I cannot do that because, I'm burning the fovea of a human is a sin. It's not ethical. So somebody has to tell. Now, if you leave me as is, I will convince somebody to say, hey, can you please participate and go on, so on, so on, so on, so forth. I think having ethics, doing anything in an ethical manner is important. When we do research, a proper consent taking, we cannot exploit participants from different backgrounds if you don't keep them informed. This is, I would use the word sin in research terms. These days, I think even in India, ethics is getting much more stricter, especially when you have to run clinical trials, when you have to try and get a product from outside India. There are a lot of approvals that need to be obtained. And this is important. Otherwise, people will think that, hey, you are doing something illegal, or you will be seen as this product is not genuine. I think only when you follow ethical considerations or get appropriate approval, follow a process in a much more strategic or ethical manner, I think that will keep or give you more credit. It's easy for somebody to pick up and say, hey, this person has done something illegal. And, where will you stand in terms of research? And we're looking at, like I said, in your first question, we're looking at not just contributing to one patient, but to the nation and to the world. So when you have such a bigger agenda in life, and we better be ethical in whatever we do. You might be hit in one way or one go, but you may not show consistency if you don't follow the ethical considerations. There are separate ethics approvals at each institute level. for both animal experiments and humans experiments. Ethics is relatively easier to get approval from the institutional review boards or ethics committee boards when we have young adults or adults as a participants. All they want to do is, hey, are you doing experiments in a much more safer, or the product that you're applying, is it safer to use in children? Are there any complications? How are you going to deal to that? Also give you the preparation for what needs to be done.
Okay, so thank you for that insightful thought. So, how do you really get stay updated on your research trends in your field, and what resources do you really rely on? Okay, I should rely on these, or I should be using some of these experiments. So, how do you really go with it?
These days, I think things are very different. Things are in your fingertips, such as Google Scholar, PubMed. You can keep your alerts in the Google Scholar. You can give your keywords. I usually keep myopia, retina, lifestyle risk factor. So I have few set of keywords. Whenever there is a paper that gets published, and if Google Scholar picks up, I get an automatic email. This is the paper that's been recently published, and you can always follow 10 researchers, or how many of our researchers in your field, to stay up to date with their work as well. So that's something that we do. And in the research lab, the myopia research lab here, the team work on multiple projects. So we set a tone that everybody sends a screenshot of one paper that they read. So I may have not read, but my team member has read and is sharing, or she is sharing something that she has read in the in a WhatsApp group. Very quick. Oh, okay, this is already there in the literature. So it's very up to date. And more than Google Scholar or anything else, I think these days a lot of information is available in social media. When I say social media, people are posting in Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, even in Instagram. All you have to know is, you want to get that information, look out for that, you will have it on your face.
Yes.
Things have become much more easier.
Exactly.
You should be showing that intention.
Yeah. Yeah. So intention makes a lot of difference in terms of picking up the latest trends and research in your field. So coming to the next couple of questions, what advice do you have for early career researchers before they start taking up research as their career?
The suggestion for early career researchers, if you have not started your research, you're thinking to get into research, pick an area that you are passionate about. You should be interested in that. Keep in mind that if you're starting something, maybe you have to give 5 years, or you're looking at a project that goes for 2-3 years. It's not like you will join today and then tomorrow you will have some outcomes. And you will only go longer if you're interested in that. If you're interested in that specific area, you don't have to be interested in that specific project. You will not know until you jump. So pick an area that you are really passionate about, that you understand a bit, you have your foundation. You should be confident to say, okay, I think I can sustain, or I can enjoy researching on the same topic for 5 years. I can enjoy the same topic forever. There are researchers who are working on a specific topic for 30 years and 40 years. Unless you are motivated, and that motivation comes if you are passionate about that area, you like that area, do not go there. Only if you like that area, please pick that area as your topic. You will have, I would say, tenfold outcomes in a better way when you pick that area. And if somebody who is thinking that, hey, in India, do we have options for early career researchers? I think there are a lot of options. If you are under the age of 35 years, there are a lot of government-funded grants dedicated to young researchers. I call myself young researchers. I'm 35 years still. So there is a grant called Inspire Faculty Award. There is something called Early Career Research Award, and that will help you establish your own lab. I think there are a lot of government-funded projects, not projects, government funds that can be utilized or that can be granted every year if you are under 35 years of age. So there is a lot of opportunities. Passionate, and then there is grants to support your research work.
Coming to the last couple of questions, I know you have a lot of passion towards myopia, and the world is talking more of myopia. So, what is the future research in myopia research, and it can be emerging trends and technologies. So, you can give it in a quick nutshell.
The future looks bright for all those who want to be in myopia research. This is time. And if you're an optometrist and we're talking about refractive error, please understand that there is big scope for us. A lot is not known. I mean, I keep telling about the same statement. We talk about risk factors, we talk about treatments. A lot is not known. Good news is we are inching towards saying a myopia can be prevented, or myopia progression can be controlled. But still, you have emergent technologies coming out in the form of defocus lenses, or light therapies are coming out. How do they function? Maybe you will have artificial intelligence-based techniques coming out. Even in the spectacles, people are looking at more cost-effective technologies. So I think, in a nutshell, you want to understand about myopia, there is scope. You want to develop cost-effective treatments, there is scope. You want to develop AI-based, product-based. I think there is a huge potential. And I will take one more minute to relate to when you said, what will motivate you, what rewards you see. We, from the myopia lab itself, we developed a light tracker. We developed guidelines for myopia management. We call it IMPACT. We developed the myopia calculator that's coming out soon. I know all these are going out to the practitioners' hands. All these are educating parents. So this sort of rewards you to do more and more, and in a more simplistic possible manner. These days, people want everything in fingertips. That is very simple and that takes less time. And long story short, we do not have a lot of answers in the field. So the future looks very bright for all those who are aspiring to become a myopia researcher or to become a myopia clinician. For me, both are interlinked.
So coming to the last question, how do you really balance your research demands with personal life and well-being? This might be the toughest question so far. Yeah.
It is toughest questions. I think, honestly speaking, I think I'm trying to strike a balance. I am not there yet. Slowly, I started to understand the time that I have to dedicate to family. Maybe on that front, I should thank my family and friends who understand my schedules and then support whatever I do. That support is important, coming out from the family to support the research that you do or the work schedule that you do. I started to say that I will not take calls after I reach home, and not to check emails. These are things that I'm trying, but I'm not there yet. I think slowly I will be much more stronger in that zone as well.
So thank you so much for being with us, Dr. Pavan, for sharing your perspective and research knowledge. I hope the conversation has ignited a little spark with all the listeners. And see you all in another podcast. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Gopi. I think Opto Research Consultancy is doing a good job in relation to getting everybody aware of what can be done, what's the scope. I like this, the questions that you have asked.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.